The next exercise that we're going to do is again a type of hem finish, and this time we are actually going to be using some hem tape. I'll provide you this strip of hem tape in class, and so that's how we're actually going to finish our edge. We're going to lay, first of all, and again, this was part of the homework assignment, is to take your 6-inch square and fold the bottom edge up 2 inches and then press that in place. So make sure that you've done this step prior to attaching your hem tape to the edge. So I'm going to unfold my sample, and along that 2-inch fold-up line, I'm going to layer my fabric and then my hem tape on top, so that my hem tape extends past the edge of the fabric about 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to put my presser foot down, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply attach this hem tape to the fabric. And what you can do is you can actually line up your hem tape on the 3/8 inch line here for your guide, that you can follow that. And what you can do is, what I would recommend doing is that you follow the quarter line for the edge of your raw edge of your fashion fabric here, and then follow the hem tape at the 3/8. And so what you're going to do is you're going to start stitching this, and then you're going to stop with your needle in the down position, and then check, make sure that everything's realigned, and then continue sewing for a little bit. So I have mine lined up to start with. Again, your fashion fabric, the raw edge is lining up at the 1/4 inch mark, between the 1/8 and the 3/8, and you can see that on your clear bobbin guide. And then I'm placing my hem tape so that it rests on top of my fashion fabric, my sample here, and that the edge of my hem tape is riding along the 3/8 mark. So I'm going to go ahead and lower my needle into my hem tape and fabric, and I'm going to do some quick back stitching. Alright, and then while my needle is down, I'm going to double check, make sure that my fabric is lined up on the 1/8 and my hem tape is on the 3/8. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple more stitches, and then stop with my needle in the down position, do a check again, make sure my fabric edge is on the 1/4, the 2/8, and that my hem tape is still riding along the edge here at 3/8. So I'm just going to go slowly, and every now and then stop, do a check, make sure I'm at 1/4 or 2/8, and then 3/8 for my hem tape. Hold that down, continue stitching, needle in the down position, check one last time, and hopefully I can continue this sample all to the way to the end. And then when you get to the end, do a couple quick back stitches, have your needle in the up position, and then go ahead and trim those thread tails. Alright, I'm going to trim my thread tails at the beginning of my hem tape as well as at the end. Now what we're going to do is you're going to place your fabric just as it was before, with the right side of the fabric down, but then that folded edge up, so that you have the folded edge which has that right side of the fabric again facing you. And you're going to take your hand sewing needle and thread, make sure that there's a knot on the end, and we're going to do a vertical hemming stitch. So what we want to do is we first want to put a knot at the end so that we have a place to start. So I'm going to just grab this edge of my fabric. My fabric extends a little bit past my hem tape, but hopefully yours will line up fairly nice. And then I just want to pull my thread through until it grabs that knot at the end, so that I have a good starting spot. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this in my hand. It depends on if you want to keep it flat on your tabletop here. It's kind of, I'm working in a smaller space, but if you want to, feel free to put it on your tabletop. And what we want to do is we want to have vertical stitches. And then these are just going to be fairly tiny. So we're just going to grab, we're going to come in with our needle at a little bit of a slight diagonal, and we're just going to pick up a couple threads on the right side of that fabric there. And then when we come through, we're going to pick up those threads and then come through about 1/8 of an inch down into the hem tape, and then go ahead and pull that thread through. Alright, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to bring my thread up vertical. I'm going to grab a couple yarns on my fabric just opposite of where I came up, and then I'm going to push my needle diagonal through the hem tape so that it grabs about 1/8 of an inch down from the top. I'm going to pull this needle and thread with my left hand so I can kind of hold this stuff in place. And I'm just moving probably about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less, 1/4 of an inch over at a time. And again, I'm coming in at a diagonal. Make sure. Coming in at a diagonal and grabbing that hem tape. I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to back this up because I'm not happy with how this is looking, so I'm going to restart my hemline again with that knot. So just bear with me for a moment.